Hi everyone, my name is Rick and today I'm making video on Excel. And also explain to people if you ever need to looking at this little spreadsheet right here, you're gonna need to add things like an equal sign, and I've done it a couple different ways, so there's lots of different ways to do things in Excel. But here, I've added an equal sign and a percent sign to this cell. This is kind of more of an art way of doing it, and this is more of a formula as well of doing it, but it actually works pretty good now. This little spreadsheet here, I was just trying to show people the difference between. Do you have a store or a business and you buy or sell things? I was trying to show everybody the difference between markup percentage and margin percentage. And a lot of people have no idea what margin percentage means. Most people realize what market percentage means. And if we start out over here, we see that if something costs $100 and we resell it for 30% markup, all we do is we multiply 100 by 30 and we end up getting the sale price of $130. So our cost is $100. Our sell price is $130 and our profit is $30. So our market percentage is 30%. Now something kinda weird, our margin percentage is 23.8%. So, looking over here on this other side of the spreadsheet here, if one of your employees decides to help his friend out or change prices or something, if he ends up giving your customer a 10% discount, well, 10% of $130 is $13, and the reason I'm showing you this is because this is why the world's so out of control now. You have to make a lot of money on everything to stay in business. You got property taxes, insurance, workforce compensation. There's just the government has pretty much tried to put everybody out of business, period. There's no other way to look at it, but you just have to make an app around the total amount of money and everything to be profitable. And then your employees, of course, they want to make more than you do. So anyways, if you take the $130 right here times up 10%, that's $13, okay? You only made $30 profit on the $100 when you added 30% profit, so it seems kinda weird, but when they give a customer a 10% discount, which is $13, that's 43%, 43.33 of your 30% profit. So obviously, $15 would be 50% of your profit. So it's just kind of a different way to look at it, but as far as markup and margins go, a lot of people don't pay attention to margins, but I'm just showing you the difference here. A 30% markup is actually 23.08% margin. So, and the way you would get your markup is you take your market percentage equals your market percentage equals your profit, which in this situation was $30, and your cost, which in this situation was $100, so markup equals profit divided by cost. Okay, and you can write this down or take a picture of it as screen capture. It's kinda handy to have in the future. Now your margin percentage is margin equals profit divided by sale price. So it's the same, but instead of dividing your profit by your cost, you're dividing your profit by the sale price. So our profit was $30 and we divided that by 130%. So that's kinda interesting. And if you're in business, you really need to know how these things work. Now let's get to how we're gonna add, say we wanna add this equal sign and this percentage sign right into the cell. And like I said, the newer versions of Excel, some of the older versions too, have a lot of different ways of doing that. And so what you could do is you could go up to Insert. And let's see, now I don't do it this way a lot, so sorry if it takes me a minute here to do this. Let's see, okay. So we go Insert. And if you ever notice that if you don't see a lot of things up here on your ribbon, you can actually make Excel wider, and then you're gonna get a lot of the things back. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me go show up here. Now I'm using different screen capture reveals here. Oops, there we go. So we're gonna go to shapes, and it's gonna be right under. Well, these are recently used up here, so of course it's in there. But all I used was this equal sign here, which is right here on top left, and that's from Equation Shapes, which is right here. This is where I found it. But there's quite a few in here. You could probably draw your own too, but all you do is you double click that, and then you go to where you want to place it, and then you hold your left mouse button, and then you draw that, and you're controlling how wide it is, and you can actually make the lines different thicknesses and change the color and all that kind of stuff on. Now, this is nice when you have 2 or 3 different lines in one cell, like see down here on the bottom, it says this right here, and the way you do that is you just start typing in a cell, and then you hold down the Alt key and then hit Enter. Or you can actually go up here in newer versions too and hit Word or wrap text, and that'll let you keep doing that, and then it'll actually space out the cell to include those, and then you can also do it yourself if you wanted to. And now the other thing I wanted to show you how it works is, and a lot of people don't even know this exists, but it's called custom formatting of a cell. So right here, say for instance where I wanted to put this equal and this percentage sign in here, now on the right side, well, let me show you how this looks here. So in this particular cell here where I put this equal sign and this percent sign, if I go format cells, you can also get there by hitting Control-1. If we go here and we look at this, well, mine's already coming up because I've already been there, but in this cell, what I typed in to get that is right here. Let me make this figure over here just so you can see, and this is not the exact one that I used for that. But you can, when you start typing in here under type, it says type right there. So that's a quotation, then an equal sign, then a space, then a quotation. Then I put the 0.00 because I wanted it to show the percentage or whatever number, and then I wanted to show up with 2 decimal places. And then here's where I put the percentage sign. Okay, so here's my equal sign. So I got quotes, equal sign, space, quote, 0.00, and I got some spaces in there just because I wanted some spaces right here in between that percentage sign. And then I closed see what I did is on this one I'm putting 1 on each side of the number. So I have my quotes over here with the equal sign in them, and then I have quote percentage sign space and then quote again. Which is pretty neat that you can actually do that now. Now let me close this, and let's just say you can write all kinds of stuff too, like this one. I wrote 10%. Discount equals $13. And all this stuff on the left here of the equal sign, and the equal sign was all coded in there like I just showed you. The 13 is coming up because that's the actual cell value in the function. So here's our function right here. So equals sum, and I'm doing I14 times 10%. So if we go to I and then 14, that's 130 times 10%. And that's $13. But if you want to see how I got all that stuff in front of that $13, Excel put the $13 in there. But if I go here and I right click and I go format cells, now it's going to show me what's in there because I was clicked on that cell when I hit format cells. And here's what I typed in there to get there. I typed, quote, 10 space equals, quote. So all that stuff to the left is what I wanted to show up on air cell. I want that to just show up no matter what on that cell. And then like I said, and then the neat thing is type on your code inside of here, it'll actually show you what it's gonna represent up here on the sample line. And what I wanted to show you is though if we type on the cell that doesn't have anything and we hit from that cells and we go down to custom, well, there's special too. That's kinda interesting. But if you go down to custom now, these are all the ones you can choose from that. Somebody's, gone ahead and put in your dates and all that. I mean, there's just so many different things you can put in here. 10% discount. These are the ones that we just put in, but you can just change all these around. And then, like I said, if you don't want to use one of those, we just start typing up here your own and the sample will show up, and you do definitely have to be in the right cell, of course, that they won't use that on. But you can also, distribute it through all the different cells just like you would any other BLT. Alright. So hopefully that helps somebody that's having a hard time, finding, place if you want to put placement tax or text in a cell. So please like and subscribe. If you got any questions, leave them a comments, and then hopefully somebody or I'll be able to answer them for you. Thank you.